Hey Starseeds, welcome to your timeless transmission. This reading is geared towards whenever you're watching this, so it's going to be synchronized to whatever timeline you're experiencing. Energy pocket. So it's up to you how fast you navigate through these energies, but today I have a special spread that was just for you. This initial spread is a message from your mind, body, and soul, and then your spirit. For your mind, the tarot card that you got was the Hanged Man, and it's coupled with Come Together. So with your mind in this position, giving you the Hanged Man and the Come Together, tells me that you have a merging between this state of enlightenment with your mind. So it's sort of like married together now, this linear mind and this omniscient mind. And the reason why I say that is because Hanging Man can be referring to a state of, I guess, waiting or patience, but the fact that it came together with Come Together card, when I'm referring to the mind, tells me that this is what's going on. It looks like you have cultivated the yoga of non-doing with your mind, which is the balance of polarities, really. When I refer to the yoga of non-doing, I'm talking about this term from the Bhagavad Gita. So if you know what that text is, if you don't, I recommend you read it. There's also the sense of love, a romantic partner, or a soulmate, or a twin flame even, that's possibly coming. And what I'm drawn to is this crown that I never even paid attention to before, in the middle of the heart. So this is some sort of divine heritage and a divine union. There's some sort of divine union in your mind, and this is the union of polarities. What I'm drawn to also point out is the cultivation of unity consciousness. So whatever form that takes for you to consider unity consciousness, whether that's the integration of masculine and the feminine, the elimination of any trace of competition and replacing it with cooperation for your mind. That is a higher state of perceiving. For your body, you have the Knight of Rods with movement, which both points to the similar energy of ruthless movement. The Knight of Rods is the energy of rushing, not rushing, but charging towards your passion and charging to fulfill your passion without necessarily considering the obstacles in between what stands before you and the goal. And this can be a really beneficial thing. It's not really a bad thing in certain contexts, in which I see it as that in your physical. But this coming up for the physical aspect, the Knight of Rods coming up as your physical aspects, is telling me that all of the physical obstacles are being lifted. So if you've had trouble manifesting things in the physical or with your body, with your health, looks like you're getting a solid movement there and kind of charging through any sort of obstacles that stood in the way before. In your soul card, you have Temperance and Strength. So Temperance is a really similar energy as the Come Together that you got with the other card, other position of mind. And it's interesting that you got Strength twice. So as your spirit's message, you got Strength, and as your soul's message, you got Strength as well, both from different decks. So I think that this is referring to the solid strength that you have already cultivated. And this is really similar to how the Hanged Man is in the Come Together position. This is so interesting because the Come Together card is kind of like Temperance too. Temperance is balancing of polarities, integration of polarities, and so is Come Together. So it looks like it looks like your body, mind, and soul are actually all integrating, because you've got temperance and come together for all these different positions. So you're living in this state of integration, which is awesome, and it gives you an unprecedented state of strength. And that strength comes up with the Wheel of Fortune as your spirit's message. You're definitely moving through an obstacle that is represented as the mountain as well. So this mountain card is the physical and mental and emotional block that was there, but it comes up with strength and Wheel of Fortune, which tells me that both your strength and universal currents are lifting you into movement out of all of these obstacles. So that's really good to see. If I were to have any sort of suggestion, is just to keep going. There's nothing I would recommend further than for you to continue on this path that you've been leading, because it's clearly coming towards a resolution. And when some sort of permission slip is offered, some sort of even placebo effect comes across, a chance to release a placebo effect, just take that opportunity, because right now you have this really fluid energy that is really good, and you have this strength and integration of all different realms and all different positions. For your Archangel cards, this month, in the next month, so whenever you're watching this, and for the next month or so, you're gonna have victory in one priority of your life, one sort of priority in your life, and you're going to be transmuting this. In this aspect, you're going to be transmuting the lowest levels of emotional frequencies that has been associated with that aspect of your life is going to be completely transmuted. And once you have that pathway of navigating from the lower states to the higher states of emotion regarding a circumstance, you can actually apply that to all other areas in your life. So that's a really awesome message. But it tells me that you should be gentle with yourself and how this unfolds, because it is a very universally orchestrated energy, perhaps because you've been adopting the feminine frequency, the divine feminine way of magnetizing solutions and things like that. And so the way in which it comes about is going to be incremental changes in various different synchronicities. It's not going to just come as a one solution. It's going to be slight changes you notice in different aspects, and then it's going to all make sense together. So you have to have patience with the way that all the currents flow. Maybe you're not going to have a lightning fast epiphany or a message or an offer. It's just going to be very incremental changes as you embody this divine feminine frequency of surrendering. That's also how the answer manifests. But in order to actually gracefully, fully transition into this space, you got to clear your space. So I'm getting a message that you have some clutter in your physical space that you should clear out. Consider yourself as already having manifested this priority in your life, and then start to clear your physical space. So if you start clearing your physical space from a certain assumption in the position of your life, you're not going to clear as much stuff away. So just assume that you have all that you need and all that you could possibly hope for, and then start donating or selling your stuff. Then you'll see a tremendous difference in the ways and the stuff that you're willing to keep and the stuff you're willing to throw away or donate or sell. Selling stuff is still okay. Okay. The last card I'm going to pull is from the Mayan Oracle. The cards that you got out of this spread is unity and resolution of duality, and then you got polarity. Isn't that really funny? And then on the bottom you have a hologram card. It's funny because on one hand you have the polarity card, and then in the middle you have the resolution of this polarity, and then you have the unity card. So as I said before, I think embodying unity consciousness and actually making decisions based on that level of consciousness is going to be key in integrating this energies that you're going through right now at this time. So this unity card refers to this sense of competition arising from your belief in separation from source. And even if you embody this life of, oh, I'm one with the source, I'm one with all that is, you know, that's one level of knowing something versus you actually embodying that actual frequency is very different. And I think you're actually coming to a point where you're actually integrating the frequency of unity consciousness. And this whole notion of competition, it's so interesting because I mentioned exactly this in the previous spread, but this is, I'm going to read you the actual translation of this card in the booklet, in this book. This is the book for this. You're being asked to look at how the belief in competition, however subtle, keeps you stuck in non-unified awareness. As you begin to see that there is only one of us here, competition and lack of cooperation are simply non-survival oriented beliefs. As a species imperative, we would be served in unifying all apparent polarized positions, such as competition and its initiating belief in scarcity, or we will simply perish as a species. The more you love, the faster you vibrate. Changing your friends, beliefs, or the contents of your mind does not change your vibration. The ways you don't love yourself as you are now are the very ways that you keep love out of your vibration. There is nothing outside that dictates your experience. Your life experience is entirely determined by your vibration and awareness. If you want to vibrate in the frequency of unity consciousness, choose love. Choose love. And this can be a mantra that you adopt for this time period, is choose love. And then just continually affirm that for yourself. And also just remember to ask your higher selves to vibrate, give you the vibration of service to others orientation. And that's a way of you embodying more love. And if you just adopt that asking system, that system of asking constantly for this service of others, service to others frequency, then a lot of things will be easier. It's funny because this polarity card is not necessarily negative, but it talks about the different aspects of this unity. So this unity, the translation that they offer is about the divine masculine and the divine feminine, the sacred twin flame. It's really, really uncanny how the same cards pop up from completely different decks. Be willing to examine your attractions, aversions, attachments, and resistances. See where you're resisting stuff. See where you are having struggles in your life, which kind of obstacles, but you do have this strong pull of grace from the universe. So it is definitely going to be resolved. There's a resolution at the end. Okay guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this has been helpful somewhat. I will see you guys later. Take care of yourself.